And they are back in the dirty pocket. Welcome in to anyone that may be listening or watching on Twitch and all those other places. I am joined by the scout, Mr. Daniel Kelly. Welcome in, my friend. How are we?
Hey, thank you, Stacy. We're doing well. I'm wired for sound tonight down in Key West, Florida.
How is this possible? You're 3 hours ahead of me. I'm on the West Coast. I am about ready to fall asleep right here in front of everyone. And you are on cloud 50. I don't get it.
Absolutely. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Boom, here I am.
Oh, my God. I can't even fathom. So let's get it out of the way quick and fast this week.
Do it.
What are we drinking? I'm going to shock the world by I've at least changed the flavor. I've went with cola from the folks there at Zevia. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you each and every one of
you.
They
got to reach out to you with a sponsor with some type of offer.
I
mean,
agree.
You've been so faithful to that Zevia. It's been unbelievable. You've been as faithful to that Zevia as you are to the Rams.
Look, you don't get this six-pack ab thing going like I have without Zevia.
Show us.
Yeah, maybe next time. There's one of the abs is out of alignment. So,
okay.
But what about you, Scout? What are we drinking this week that's got you wired?
It's always something a little bit outside the box with me. That's kind of a metaphor, of course. But I stopped at the store on the way home tonight and picked up.
Oh, man, that looked like a beer. That looks, it is cream soda.
It's cream soda. I want to make sure we see it's soda.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not podcasting. While drinking, I'm having a soda here. So, let's take a taste here and see what we think.
All right, give it to us.
Wow, it tastes like cream soda. That's really good.
Okay.
And I like cream soda. And if I was going to do a spot for a sponsorship, I mean, here we go. Okay, Arsenio Hall. I'm dating myself, but here we go. I mean, when you want to watch a show and you want to see the cream rise to the top, you watch The Dirty Pocket. This message furnished by the National Football League.
Oh, that's cream of the crop right there. Oh,
cream of the crop. Cool.
Very nice. All right. Okay.
I'm not falling for the tired routine here. You came up with that off the cuff, like you were turning a double play in baseball. I mean, that was hot.
I can barely stand and walk away from this chair. I am exhausted, truth be told, but never too exhausted to spend 30 minutes talking football. And the week that was, boy, do we have some doozy topics. And we want to share with those that might listen in or watch on Twitch. We're going to change the format a little bit here. We're going to go rapid fire. We feel like more content jammed into our 30 minutes together inside the pocket is what people like. So I have got some subjects for you, Scout, that we have predetermined and agreed to. And I want to start right off the top with that green team up there in New York, the New York Jets, who continue to surprise and be competitive. But you made a comment to me that I want to bring to the audience. You said that the Jets prefer politics over the playoffs. What? What do you mean by this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, why else is Zach Wilson under center right now? I mean, let's face it, folks, right? I mean, isn't it just very interesting? It is to me anyways. I mean, I used to work in the building that Robert Saleh, the head coach of New York Jets, is like prophesying that Zach Wilson, he's going to come back. He's going to come back and he's going to be back this season. Lo and behold, he's back under center. And Mike White has this injury, and supposedly his ribs are almost fractured. Yeah, he's staying on the sidelines. You know how painful broken ribs can be and rib injuries are. It doesn't look like he's in that much pain to me. But all of a sudden, Zach Wilson's back. Hey, why not? His uncle owns the airlines that the Jets fly. David Nealman. Hey, uncle, get me back in the ball game. Mommy, put me back in the game. I mean, that's what's happening here, I think. And I really think that, we saw this last year when Mike White came in for a couple of games, played really well. I think they kind of set him up in the game planning to fail against Buffalo, pulled him out, put Zach back in. This year, Mike White comes in there, whole team gets behind him. He wins the locker room. Zach Wilson loses the locker room. All of a sudden, he's injured, and all of a sudden now we have Zach Wilson back in there. He lost last week. This last week, he'll lose Thursday night. I'm gonna be prophetic of my own. Okay, this Thursday night against Jacksonville, and it's just going to drop the Jets out of playoff contention. So yes, the New York Jets prefer playing politics over going to the playoffs, said by a former Jets scout.
Well, there you go. I mean, you're still covering the Jets. Look, I'm not nearly as down on Zach Wilson. He has not played well. The benching might have done us some good. How can you not love Mike White? He's going to 10 doctors trying to get into the game with a bad rib.
Yeah, but the 10th one was Zach Wilson. He was in disguise.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Look, he threw for 300 yards.
And he's still completing only 50% of his passes.
Okay. I mean, is he, is he a poor man's Brett Favre? I mean, is he that guy who just likes to throw deep and he's just a gunslinger or what? I don't know. I think the jury's still out on Zach. I'm gonna say that maybe with the right coaching and with some maturity, definitely needs to mature. That I don't think the Jets need to panic. I don't think they need to panic. The scout says yes, they do. They're more interested in their flight miles and their mileage plan.
Absolutely, those frequent flyer miles. No question about it. I mean, how else did Zach Wilson get that cream puff schedule at BYU when he increased his stats his final season there? But maybe it was some booster money. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Oh, my. Frequent flyer miles and booster money, Zach Wilson, ladies and gentlemen.
Sure set him up to be drafted by the Jets, and that's where he is. And I just can't get over that relationship between Zach Wilson's uncle owning the airlines the New York Jets fly. I just can't get over that relationship. I'm sorry.
Okay. I mean, where this is one of those things that you and I have some slight disagreement on. I don't think it's time to give up on Zach Wilson, but maybe it's all about politics.
You've been right about other things too. You were right about Jared Goff, and you were up on him this year and stuff. So I mean, hey, I'm hearing you.
Thanks for calling that out. Thanks for calling that out, Scout. Goff has been amazing.
Absolutely. I'm trying to make you look good because you refuse to show us that six pack.
Yeah, well, yeah, the people want it. That's why you're a podcaster. Yeah, I can show they can audio picture that. Okay.
I know it's going to go viral.
No one wants to see that. No one wants to see that. Okay. Well, thank you. We like Goff too. Looks like we have a fine person spouting off here in Clixer. Hope I'm saying that right.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Look, Jared Goff's been amazing. He finally has an offensive coordinator that believes in him. He's got a running game. He's got a great offensive line in Detroit. They have the Rams draft pick at number 4. I know I'm off the rails here a little bit on this show. The Detroit Lions are fun to watch. They're fun to watch. Keep him within himself. Wouldn't that be something if Jared Goff gets them into the playoffs this year? Wow.
Well, I think it's kind of an interesting, kind of a redemption for Jared Goff here too, because last year he was kind of shipped unceremoniously to Detroit, which has kind of been a wasteland for players over the years. The Rams go on to win the Super Bowl last year. Yeah. He's got to watch it from home. Now all of a sudden the situation, sorry, I know you're a Rams fan, but I mean, Stacey, but the situation is now reversed, and now he's making a push for the playoffs with Detroit, and the Rams are eliminated. So, I mean, it's kind of an interesting, it's just, a tale of two seasons.
Yeah, it's also a tale of what I said right from the beginning. I like Goff too, Clixer. I was in his corner. That was absolutely a relationship that went sideways with him and McVay. Yeah. And that's all that was. Okay, we got to move out of that part of the NFC and into a new part of the NFC. And oh boy, is Aaron Rodgers done? I mean, he beat the Rams last night, the world champion Los Angeles Rams. I've got to get that in as long as I can. I got about 3 weeks left. The world champion Los Angeles Rams. Aaron Rodgers is a guy that's aged like fine wine, and he looks like, he's so talented. You and I differ on this. In talent, I don't think we differ, but we differ on the locker room influence. You say he's an absolute turd in a punch bowl. I'm not as convinced as you are. Is Aaron Rodgers done after this season?
In Green Bay, he is.
Oh,
Absolutely is. I was writing articles back in 2021 that I would have cut him in Green Bay had I been the general manager there. I think he's been nothing but a dead weight to this organization for the last couple of years. They've lost 2 home playoff games to warm weather teams. Ridiculous. Couldn't get it done, won't get it done, only cares about himself. This is a guy, he's leading a 6-8 Green Bay Packers right now. And it's something where, some players, as they declined at the New York Jets, we had either an arrow going up, an arrow going down, or arrow going sideways for talent level next to the grade. And I tell you what, Aaron Rodgers is falling off a cliff in his career right now. He's gone from the number 1 QBR in the NFL last year, according to ESPN.com. He's gone down to the number 28th ranked QBR this season, 40.8. Plus, let's face it, Jordan Love has come out reportedly said the backup, hey, if you don't, if you don't make the commitment to me and you keep Rodgers around, I'm going to demand a trade. I personally think Jordan Love can lead Green Bay to the Super Bowl, and I think it's time to move on from the selfish, self-centered Aaron Rodgers with the Green Bay Packers. I've seen enough of him there. He's been holding this organization back. Get Jordan Love in there and actually win something, because right now this thing's going nowhere in a hurry.
Come on now. We're talking about a guy who's won 4 NFL MVPs.
Yeah, I got some old newspapers too.
He had listen, is his game dropped off? I mean, he's thrown 10 interceptions now this year. And it looks like we've got some agreement here. I am absolutely against the Packers moving off from Aaron. Certainly not for Jordan, who I think if he demands a trade, please hold the door open for him. I mean, no way. Do you think his talent has dropped off? Aside from not liking the man or that he does ayahuasca, he is an incredible talent. Do you think that's dropped off at 39?
He's not a leader. I think the talent's still there. I think you're right about the talent, but the leadership is not there. What he's going through, all this press conference stuff when he gets up there and second guesses management, plays armchair quarterback without being invited to the table, all this kind of stuff that he's done to undermine the authority of the Green Bay Packers and the hierarchy of the Packers organization is off. It's unsettled things, and I think it's a bad influence in the locker room. That's why, I think you're right. I think the talent's still there. I think he can still throw the ball. He can still do those type of things. But I do not like Aaron Rodgers as a leader whatsoever. And I agree with you. But I partially agree with you too, Stacey. The talent's there. I just don't think he's the answer for Green Bay anymore. I think that bridge is burnt.
Okay. Well, it looks like I'm in the minority here. Clicks are saying, yep, can't win rings for Green Bay anymore. I mean, he's still doing stuff, even though they played terrible this year. But with the rookie wide receivers, you saw some broken routes last night with your boy Christian Watson out of North Dakota State, home of Trey Lance. Listen, I still think Aaron Rodgers could squeak out one more Super Bowl given the right situation. I got to tell you, I don't see him moving on from Green Bay. And that's an interesting analogy, Clickster. Yeah, I'm not a Kevin Durant fan at all. So I guess maybe I understand where the scout's coming from there, because I would not have Kevin Durant on my team in the NBA whatsoever. Okay, we got to move on from Aaron and move into another quarterback who has got, let's face it, this has been one of the top stories of the year. Geno Smith in Seattle. Like, he has them in games. He's got them competitive. Now, they've lost a little bit here, but do you think he's worth the $36.4 million that he will demand per year in Seattle next year?
Yes, but he won't get it in Seattle. The Seahawks are gonna be moving on from Geno Smith. This is a guy that's in 2022 he's had a career year. He's got the fourth highest amount of touchdowns in the league, 7th in terms of passing yards, 5th best QBR in the National Football League as well. But it's his 4th team in 9 seasons. I think we're kind of seeing like a phenomenon go on right now with Geno Smith. And I just don't see the Seahawks committing $100 million over 3 years to Geno Smith and making that kind of commitment. I think they're going to move off of him and go with a rookie quarterback. Some names to kind of keep in mind here as we move into this. Tanner McKee is going to be right there, kind of mid-range, the big kid from Stanford. In the first round, between 10 and 20, somewhere in there. Also another guy to keep an eye open for if he declares is Jaron Hall from BYU, who reminds a lot of people, including myself, of a young version of Russell Wilson. And of course, Spencer Rattler's also a wild card if he does declare and come out. I mean, I love his competitive fire, and I think Pete Carroll would love him too. I just think it's been a heck of a year for Geno Smith, but I do think he's gone from the Seattle Seahawks once this season's over.
Boy, I got to tell you, if that happens, that's a massive mistake. I think this is another one of those clear cases where Geno Smith hasn't been able to have any success anywhere else he's been. And then you get into a system with Pete Carroll and whatever Shane Walton, which comes from the world champion Los Angeles Rams coaching staff, is doing with him on offense. Something is I agree. He's going to be appreciated because he filled in for Danger Russ Wilson. But I got to tell you, I think that the Seahawks would make a big mistake if they move off Geno Smith. I think he would too. Where else does he fit? Who else is going to think that they can plug and play him the way Pete Carroll did?
I don't think the decision's going to be up to him.
Yeah. It's okay. All right.
I mean, he may want to stay.
Yeah, that's a valid decision. I'd love to hear from Seahawk fans. Clixer, don't know if you're a Seahawk fan, but I do agree that we'll always probably be appreciated in Seattle for what he's done this year. It's been incredible.
Yeah. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. I just can't see Seattle breaking the bank $100 million for Geno Smith. I can't see him in that stratosphere. Not with the full body of work and the resume that he's put out there over the last 9 years. I can't see it.
Somewhat agree with that take. That the money is an issue. His age is an issue. If they're truly building for the future, they got a good their running backs. They're always getting hurt. So it's subject for another day. But boy, is that a complex one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Geno Smith, yay or nay, folks, let us know. We want to hear what you think. Will he be a Seahawk next year? Got to move to the LOAT, the luckiest of all time. I'm sorry. I guess you call him the GOAT, the greatest of all time. I don't. That's reserved for Joe Montana. But we need to talk about a player we somewhat disagree on, and that would be Mr. Tom Brady. Dude.
Guess who's back?
Here's the wall. Here's Tom Brady. He has hit the wall. I mean, come on now. Tom Brady's cooked. Right?
Wrong.
Oh, how did I know?
Don't be surprised. Now, I do believe he's moving on from Tampa Bay. I think this is last year with the Bucs. But don't be surprised. I'm going to be dropping a hot take right now. Don't be surprised if you see TB12 going to the Las Vegas Raiders next year and going to reunite with Josh McDaniels, his old offensive coordinator from the New England Patriots. Listen, the Davis family has always been enamored with Belichick. Ever since I was with the Jets, Al Davis was trying to hire Bill Belichick. He finally got his protege, Josh McDaniels, in there. Yeah. Don't be shocked if he goes out and gets TB12 this offseason and the Raiders trade Carr and move in TB12 into that spot instead.
Is this fan fiction? Like, is this just what people want to see? Like, why in the hell would the Raiders move on from Derek Carr, who's an up and down mess? You never know what you're going to get. I think he's a gamer. I think he's overachieved. I think he's done all he can do, and I think he has a lot of heart. But you're going to plug in 45, 46-year-old Tom Brady thinking that you can take the Raiders to a Super Bowl next year? Does that roster scream Super Bowl, Scout?
No. It doesn't, but I'm just saying that's where the fit I can see being the best fit, because it's not going to be with the 49ers, because the 49ers all of a sudden have Brock Purdy. And so that's where he thought he was going to land out there with Kyle Shanahan. But now there's been a wrench thrown into that plan. And he's got to land somewhere. He's going to continue to play. That's why, that's what the divorce was all about. He's going to continue to play. And the question is where? I think it's with Las Vegas.
Ooh,
oddly enough, the Super Bowl is in Las Vegas.
Okay, I was about to say Clixer with a hot drop.
There we go.
We're going to put on our tinfoil hats, straight conspiracy theory stuff here. I called it that the Rams would win one in SoFi within 5 years, and they happened to win the one in the year it was in SoFi.
Whoa, that's almost like New England, the Patriots winning the Super Bowl after 9/11. It's strange.
It seems fairly scripted. Clixer, hot take there. Agree. Super Bowl is in Vegas.
MTO with another great one. Brady going with the Giants and Brian Dabble up there. I mean, that's another possibility too. Absolutely, you're right on target there. Dabble is a Belichick guy. Absolutely, he's going to land somewhere in that tree. That's the way these guys all run together.
Very good points by both of you, watchers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that Vegas thing, you got me peaked though. Although I still don't think I connect Brady to that. I just, you've got to be kidding me. I think Josh McDaniels wants to get in. I want to point out that a certain guy named Lamar Jackson might be available. I see that in Las Vegas as more of a possibility than I do Brady. And maybe it's just because I want Brady to get the hell out of the league.
You still like him because you're a Rams fan.
Well, that and a few other things. Deflategate. Videotapes, Super Bowls. That's a whole other story. Nonetheless, okay, let's get off Tom, and I want to ask you here quickly, and we're seeing this in rapid succession, and we're seeing it a lot of the night games, but on Sundays, these young quarterbacks, okay? We're going to rapid fire on the young quarterbacks. Do you need to, in 2022, 2023, do you really need to draft a quarterback in the first round?
We're seeing a different kind of trend evolving in the National Football League, where if you look at the last two drafts, I mean, you see the Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Kenny Pickett, the feature quarterbacks have been taken the first round over the last 2 years. Have really, the whole thing's been kind of a train wreck. It's all gone off the rails. And I think what's happening is that, the rules, favor offenses more, and defenses are responding, becoming more and more complex even yet. And I think the youngsters are having a harder and harder time reading it. So, I think it's going to kind of change the philosophy, I think, of some organizations out there, especially when you have free agents on the board, as we head into the offseason. We just mentioned Tom Brady's going to be available. Geno Smith is going to be out there. Jimmy G, Taylor Heineke, Daniel Jones, Jacoby Brissett, Mike White, Lamar Jackson, as you mentioned, Stacy. Those are guys that are all available out there, especially if you're a team that has a losing record. Who can come in and do that? Who's going to have a chance to, bring and pull the team together? I just don't know, if you can rely on a young rookie quarterback to do much of anything anymore. I mean, for a few years. I mean, when I took a plane ride back from Mobile at the Senior Bowl down to Houston a few years back, I had the opportunity to sit next to Lee Steinberg, who's one of the super agents of all time. And Mr. Steinberg, had told me, he represents Patrick Mahomes now. He had told me, quarterbacks are like a fine wine. They take time to develop. And a lot of times he said, we just don't have the patience. Teams don't have the patience for these young guys anymore. 2-3 years. We've seen it time and time again over the last 20, 30 years. These guys, fizzle in the first year, 2 or 3. And, I think there's going to be some real change in organizational philosophy going forward as for teams that want to be competitive.
Okay. Very interesting. MTO brings up some great points too. People tend to reach because they feel like almost they have to. You've seen that in recent years with some of these quarterbacks. MTO, the Zach Wilson situation, which he climbed the draft boards rapidly there, basically based on a workout where he had that one insane throw. But looking at these quarterbacks, without going too deep into that on this show, I don't like any of them this year. I do, oddly enough, like the kid Dugan from TCU if he gets in the right system. And it's definitely the Underwear Olympics. No question about that. But he put on a show. Okay, very good points. Very good points. We're going to stay on quarterbacks in our new rapid fire format. I want to talk about the Chicago Bears.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are with the season coming to a close. They're not going to be in the playoffs again. But do they need a quarterback scout? Should they draft quarterback next year?
Absolutely not. They've got their guy, Justin Fields, my 2021 pre-draft document. You can check it online. QB1, Justin Fields out of the Ohio State. This guy is everything they need. I mean, just this year alone, 2,048 passing yards, 1,000 yards rushing. He's surpassing. The guy is an elite runner. Okay, he's everything Lamar Jackson is. He's everything all the rest of these runners have been. He's 23 touchdowns total. He's accounted for 10 interceptions. He averages about 21.53 points per game. I saw on Twitter today. I mean, this is a guy that's to me, I've often compared him. He's the next Randall Cunningham in the National Football League. Dude. I love Justin Fields. I mean, the Bears are 3-11, but he's done it this year mostly with the roster full of with all the injuries and backups, everything they got going on out there. I just think the quarterback I would like to see them draft, if they're going to draft anybody and stick behind Justin Fields, is Hendon Hooker out of Tennessee. Of course, he had the torn ACL, and he's not getting a lot of love right now. His recovery time is scheduled about 9 months. But I think if you bring in a Hendon Hooker and plug in behind Fields as his number 2 now, I think teams need 2 good quarterbacks in today's age, especially when you have a runner like Fields. I think gives Chicago a great 1-2 punch, and I really like Fields. I mean, Hooker. I love Fields. I like Hooker. I think Hooker reminds me of a young Teddy Bridgewater.
Okay. Yeah, Chicago doesn't need a quarterback. However, I agree with what MTO said here a few seconds ago. I go out and I find the greatest passing quarterback coach I can possibly find, and he spends the entire offseason living with Justin Fields. Justin Fields is dynamic. He's dynamic like Lamar Jackson's dynamic.
Absolutely.
And neither
dynamic.
of them.
That's why I like QB1 in 2021.
Yeah, and look, they're incredible, these runs this year, but neither of them are great passers. I don't care what anyone says. They're just not. They're very inaccurate. So you've got to go out and you've got to get a coach in the back pocket of Justin Fields. And if you do, he could be very, very special. I don't like that story. The scout will love that. He loves himself some Deshaun Watson, not so much.
Really quickly, to your point, MTO, about Malik Cunningham. Absolutely. I am a huge Malik Cunningham fan. He's has a higher passer rating than Lamar Jackson had at Louisville. He has a higher completion percentage. He can run the ball over the field, just like Lamar Jackson can. I think he's going to be a great quarterback in the NFL, a great starter. He's not getting a lot of love right now, but I do have a first-round grade on Malik Cunningham coming out of the University of Louisville. I do love him.
Okay, we got 2 minutes left. I want to throw 3 questions at you, so each of them get about 30 seconds in this new Dirty Pocket 30-minute rapid-fire format. Here we go. Kirk Cousins, does he finally deliver for the Vikings?
No, not at all. Kirk Cousins, I mean, what a classic quarterback in Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota is oversold and underdelivered since 1960. I mean, he's a poster child for the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, this guy's got a decade-long resume of folding like a tent. He's fool's gold. He is good. The Minnesota Vikings are going to collapse this postseason, courtesy of Kirk Cousins. Not at all. Kirk Cousins. No, he's not the answer whatsoever. The most overpaid player in the National Football League and the most overrated at the same time. That's not easy to do.
Yep, saw that. Okay, I saw the Josh Rosen signing today too, MTO. Very interesting. That poor guy. What a nightmare of a career. 2 more real quick. Kyler Murray goes down with a knee. Where's Kyler Murray next year? Is he still with the Cardinals with that contract?
Nobody's going to take him, and nobody's going to take that contract.
I think
they can't get rid of it. They're stuck with that contract in Arizona. What a disaster! What a train wreck! The general manager is basically on a medical leave. Yeah. They're basically running him out. The whole thing's collapsing. That's just an absolute disaster. They are stuck with Kyler Murray, and they're going to have to pay the price with that one. They're going to have to build around Kyler Murray and hope for the best, but. Yeah, I don't know. That's a disaster out there. I mean, but
That's
what
a
did they
scene.
expect? I mean, they signed him to that mega extension, and
So
the kid had
stupid.
a losing record when they
Yeah.
signed him. He was like 21-23 at the time,
I
or
wonder-
something like that. He never won anything. Listen, if I was a general manager and Kyler Murray would have walked in my office and demanded that kind of money, I would have shut the door and started laughing. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, he has not done anything to earn that kind of money out in Arizona, and now they're stuck with him.
Yeah. There's that franchise is in bad place. Amazing. Interesting that Steve Keim's having health problems. I wonder if it's connected to 250 some odd million. Yeah, I'm going to guess he's gone. Cliff Kingsbury's gone. He's in college next year. And I agree with Calixer here. He is way more focused on video games than he should be being an epic legacy quarterback. Real fast as we close this week, my guy Baker Mayfield, he's doing the best he can. Is he a Los Angeles Ram next year, or do you think somebody else grabs him?
No, he'll stay with the Rams.
Okay. Stafford says today he's not retiring. So Mayfield would have to accept
his
the
wife
backup.
said that. Kelly said that.
Yeah, she's the boss. We all know that's true. Come on.
Right.
We all know that's true. Hey, thank you guys. MTO, Clixer. Really good to have those comments. Come at us again next week.
Yeah,
Rapid
awesome
fire.
stuff. Thank you so much for being with us on our show today.
Yep. We're trying to move this
interaction.
format to be contain more content, more rapid fire, more dynamic, a little more fast paced. So thanks for joining us. You can catch
almost like a no huddle. Almost like
a no huddle offense out of the dirty pocket. I like that way. That's good. I like that. Okay. Wow. Lost my train of thought because I like that so much. You can catch the Scout at Sports Illustrated New York Jets or on firstroundmock.com, where he is already breaking down players for the NFL draft. Go check that out. You can check me out at Gridiron Icon, the podcast that I co-host with NFL legend Preston Denard. Just had Nolan Cromwell on. So we've got some great stuff coming. Thanks again to all of you guys. 2-minute drill. I'll tell you what, I was thinking that, Clixer. I love that. And First Round Mock is the truth. You guys are great.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Join us on all the podcast spots and on Twitter, where we like to shoot our mouths off just like everybody else. Until then, final shots, Scout.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious about Micah Parsons. Is he planning in the playoffs this year? I saw that Dallas clinched a playoff spot, but is he planning on participating, or will Micah Parsons be taking half the plays off again like he did last year against the 49ers in the playoffs?
Good grief. How do I even go over the top of that? And those are the final words from the Scout. For me, I'm going to enjoy these next 3 weeks as they dwindle down for my world champion Los Angeles Rams, because after that, it is over. Thank you, guys. We will see you all next week. Rapid fire. We love the comments. See you soon.